JB Bill with Daisy Thomas. This is Triple M's Rush Hour, where we don't pull any punches in the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Well, they started the year pretty shit house. And then they brought this man in, Josh King, and they've been absolutely flying.
The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix have one last game before the playoffs. And who better to play against as preparation than your crosstown rival?
Here we go. And Mason Peatling barrels in either. The tempers have flared in throwdown 13.
Please welcome the man who's turned the Phoenix's season around, head coach Josh King.
Absolutely, Bill. Anyone who describes themselves as a little bit crazy goes all right by me. Josh, welcome, mate. How are you finding Melbourne, Australia?
Melbourne is awesome. We're sitting here in South Melbourne right now. I just dropped my wife and baby off at the South Melbourne Market. I walked over here, got a little parking spot. There's plenty to do. So
better than Knox?
Knox. Oh, yeah, that's where we practice.
Yeah, well done. Have you ever been to Melbourne before you were appointed?
I've never been to south of the equator. So, no, I've never been to Australia or this side of the world.
Yeah. So that was a shock, a rude shock. And then you're out at Knox there too.
Yeah, Knox is okay. It's Middle Park and St. Kilda and this side of Melbourne. I like it. But hey, the southeast is like the blue collar.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've got to keep the fans on side. I like that. We'll sit over here. You're in Istanbul though, and then get the call to come across. Just how does that all come about? Is it literally just a phone call and then you're on a plane?
Well, in theory, it should be just a phone call. There was a lot of groundwork that was laid before, a lot of back and forth between myself and the organization. I was under contract in Turkey, so and I had just had a small child, so there was a lot of moving parts before we could make this thing finally work.
What about the interesting places you have been coaching in the world? You're only 39, so you're very young, because some older coaches in the NBL, so it's good to see a young one in. But let's have a look here. Recent Ludwigsburg in Germany? Anything like that?
Yeah, Ludwigsburg. Ludwigsburg.
Bog. Yeah. Well done. And then does a in Turkey.
He did a what?
Apparently. How do you say that in Turkey where you were?
Darusafaka.
Oh, there! I was close.
What did he just call me?
I know.
So you've been all around. How do you go? Coaching when there's language barriers? Have they got translators? It's always fascinated me.
Well, it depends where you're at. I mean, basketball is an international sport. It's English speaking no matter where you go now. That's the world language.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't understand that until they get out there and go to different places. But in Germany, I had 12, 13 players, and half of them were Americans, and then the ones that weren't were German-American, German-Cuban. They all spoke perfect English, so there was no
Makes
problem
it easier.
there. Makes it very easy.
Exactly. And then you lob here, and they started badly, the Phoenix, zipping 5, and then Sam McKinnon stood in, got a couple of wins. Then you come in, and you've just changed the whole system, how they play. Geez, you've done well. Do you sit back and say, well done, Kingy, you've done well?
First off, I can't take a lot of credit for that. I think most of this credit has to go towards the players and the staff and the organization. I'm just the guy that's kind of keeping the boat afloat.
Yep.
But it's been a fun experience. I had never taken over for a team in the middle of the year, and it was one thing that I was really looking forward to when I came here is kind of seeing how this whole thing would work out, and it's been a great learning experience for me, and I'm tickled to death to be able to do this, and the guys they're really a pleasure to be around every single day, and that makes it all worthwhile.
What is your mantra? How do you go about it? Plenty of energy, I hear, out in the court. Are you defensive?
Oh, absolutely. I think there's two sides to the sport. All right, you got to play offense and defense. Players don't come out and play defense and then offense, so you got to get them to do a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But more defensively minded. That was one thing. You know, when you take over for a team in the middle of the year, you can't change everything. You think you want your players to play free and not thinking so much. But that was the one thing I wanted to instill as a defensive mindset with this team. And I think that's the one thing I was able to bring a little bit. But these guys picked up on that really, really quickly. And then I think that's one reason why we've had a lot of success.
Yeah.
Have you got a favourite? Are you allowed to have a favourite?
Yeah, coach's favourite.
Yeah, and especially when you're talking defense. There's always someone who tries a little bit harder.
Hey, I got to say this. There's been plenty of buy-in from this team. I really can't say there's a favorite guy. I think we've had a lot of buy-in. And again, when you say how you turn it around, you got to have that. If there's one or two guys that don't want to buy in, we probably don't have this success. So I'm really proud of everybody that shows up to practice every day and makes it happen.
Are you new school, or have you got the old school sort of the basketball style bake and the fly off the handle and start telling a few home truths? And
No, I think it's a mix, right? It's a
Okay.
balance.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of old school in me, like that defensive mindset and that physicality and want to play with toughness. But at the same time, if you want to be old school and I'm the boss, you guys listen to me, that don't work nowadays. So, no, I'm more new school. I'm trying to change as the times change.
But you're mad on the sideline. You're crazy. I've asked 3 people. They've said he's mad. He goes mad, and his voice runs out, and you're no good after the game in your pre-match interviews.
pre-match.
Actually, post-match interviews. Yeah.
No, I listen. I think every play, everybody always wants to talk about the last play of the game or the last quarter or the last 5. To me, it's every single play of the game. Every play matters. No play is more important than the other. So I'm coaching every single play.
Do you look at yourself and go, "Oh, geez, I've gone a bit crazy there"? No.
At the time, not usually. Maybe like after the
Yeah,
game, I was like,
after.
I could have been a little bit cooler there. But I'm working on that. That's you learn as you go. I think a lot of athletes, and not that I'm an athlete, I'm a coach, but you get a little bit less nuts the more experience you get. And I would actually say if you saw me 4 years ago, you'd be like, this guy's just batshit crazy. And I think I've gotten better at that. But that's something I need to improve on for sure.
Chatting to the head coach of the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, Josh King, who have a huge game against Melbourne United. The throwdown this Saturday night, John Cain Arena from 8 p.m. You can watch it on ESPN as well.
You certainly can. What are they like, the throwdowns? You've obviously been in some different places and had different rivalries. Are you enjoying what this one brings?
Well, anytime you get to have a rivalry like this, inner city rivalry, I think it's special. I've only coached in one of them. It was an awesome match. They got out to a big lead on us, and then we were able to kind of make our way back and kind of win it at the end. But they're a very good basketball team. They're playing well right now. They've obviously had the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix's number for a number of years. So. We're kind of like the little brother, but that's okay. We're gonna put our best foot forward.
Oh, the fans love it too. The fans are unbelievable, aren't they? It's a great experience. We've been a couple of times.
This is sold out, this game.
Sold out already.
Sold out.
Oh,
King, you'll have a couple of tickets for us.
You'll be pumped up. You'll be at your best, will you? Oh, look, he's already fired up. He's ready to go.
Well, were you a player?
I did. I played high school basketball. I played college basketball in the States. Played Division I for 2 years and played Division II for 2 years as well. And then 2008, I graduated college and I got right into coaching. I coached all over the United States, coaching college basketball, up and down the East Coast, actually, not all over the United States. But got into coaching, and it's my passion. It's my love. And, I hope I can do – my goal is to do this for my entire career.
Yeah, 3-point specialist he was.
Oh, just beyond the arc.
Just downtown.
Yeah.
Nothing but net. We don't know a lot about the game. Now, you're a learned man, Josh King. Tell us, have you watched Australian rules football?
I haven't, but I tell you what, I'm one thing they say that keeps you young is always being curious.
Yes.
Right. And I'm super curious. I'm keen. I think that's the word
that's
you
it.
guys use. I'm keen. To watch this. It starts in March, I believe. I went to Boxing Day cricket.
Oh, yes, I was going to ask you about the cricket.
Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And I think footy, I'll get into it. I almost feel like I'm a recruit. Everywhere I go, people ask me who my favorite team is, and then I tell them who has recruited me the hardest, and then it's, depending on who they like, it's like, no, or, oh, yeah, let's go. So, yeah.
Have you got one? Is there an answer?
As of right now, I've been heavily recruited by Hawthorn, the Hawks. I've got my own jersey. I've got my own scarf. I mean, with my name on the back, with my number.
So they gave it to you. You wouldn't have bought it.
Someone, it was a gift.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's how it works.
What do you think of
Exactly.
What do you think of the colours of Hawthorn, by the way? The poos and wees.
Yeah.
I'm not so keen on the colors, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about what they did last year? They created a thing called Hockball.
What's that mean?
Well, no one really knows, but these kids were just playing like with flair, taking selfies on the. It was mental.
Okay.
So if you're all for that, a little bit of razzle dazzle,
I'm ready for the Friday night. It's Friday. It's Australian Friday Night Lights, and yeah.
Friday
Yeah,
night
we'll get you
lights.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if my liver can take that.
Also, being in Melbourne, I see you've walked in with a coffee. Are you loving your coffee? And what's your favourite coffee shop?
I can't give you a favorite coffee. This is for my little spot. I don't even know the name. I guess it's Burhan's at the South Melbourne Market. Hey, maybe they should give me a free cup since I'm saying this. But I'm not a. I love coffee. The coffee in Europe is way better than the States, and the coffee here is way better than Europe.
Yeah.
So someone needs to take me where the coffee is way better than Melbourne.
Yes.
If it's out there, I'd love to
It's
see
out
it.
there. There's plenty of coffee shops in there. You just got to find one.
Just got to find
You
them.
got to find one.
The NBL has got a little bit of I guess, courting of NBA players. LaMelo Ball came over. Are you expecting a bit more of that with the league and how it's progressing?
Well, it's got, we just played against Montrezl Harrell, who was once the NBA sixth man of the year. Dellavedova was one of my all-time favorite hustle players in the
Yes.
NBA. I remember watching him. I mad respect for him, who we play on Saturday night.
Exactly.
They have the Next Stars program here, which there's 5 of them in the league right now. All these guys are NBA prospects.
Right.
So there's a lot of correlations between the NBA and the NBL, and I think moving forward, you're going to see more and more NBA players in this league for sure.
Is it a different type of basketball we play over here?
It's got an international feel, but if you go to Europe, it's different. Each league and each country around the world has a different style, each different flavor, and people ask me, is this the second best league in the world? I don't know that because there's a lot of good leagues, but this is the most fun league in the world. And every place you go to play, it's a lot of fans, people care, great cities. What's not to like? It's summertime. It's unbelievable.
What about this quote from Josh King? Listen to this, Days. If you put Europe in a bottle and the NBA in a bottle and you shook it up, the NBL would pop out.
Right.
What about?
It's big raps.
What the does that mean, Josh?
Well, Bill,
I would assume it's just. Is it a mix of both?
Exactly.
There you go, Bill.
There you go, come on, Bill. Daisy's on it. Yeah, no. Europe's a little bit maybe too tactical.
Yes.
The NBA is probably not tactical enough. And I think in this league, you got a little bit of more freedom than Europe, but there's much more tactics going on to me in this league than the NBA.
Right.
All right.
God
Well,
for
let's,
that. Oh no, we've got to ask you about the biggest trade in the history.
yeah, that's it, Luca.
Of NBA. What about? Could you believe it? Because you would have got it a day late over here down in Australia.
Well, it's crazy. There's actually 3 guys on our team who've played in the NBA, just on our team alone. And one of them is Derek Walton, who's actually coming back from injury. Hopefully,
Junior.
Yeah, Derek Walton Jr. And right before the game, he was talking. I overheard, and I think he even told me that there was a big trade, and he told me Luka got traded for Anthony Davis. And I was like, come on. And in my mind, you know what that told me though? Right then, I thought about it. I was like, man, if the Dallas Mavericks will trade Luka Doncic, that means we're all replaceable, man. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yep. It was unbelievable.
It was.
It just shook the world, that. And the Super Bowl this Monday. Super Bowl 59? You know?
Yeah, it is.
Or
It is
69.
No, it's 59. It's definitely not 69. It's 59. Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Joshy. Who wins it?
Who wins it? Wow. Well, you know what? I love an underdog.
Yes.
But so I should be rooting for anybody that's playing the Chiefs, but I absolutely cannot stand the Philadelphia Eagles.
Ooh.
So
For any reason?
man, it's just
The way the mayor spells Eagles?
I guess since I'm not in the States, I can say this, but I'm not a big Philly fan. I'm just not a fan of Philadelphia sport. They got great fans, passionate, but they threw snowballs at Santa Claus one year. I mean,
They did.
okay.
these people are nuts.
Yeah.
Can't do
But
that.
and I love Patrick Mahomes, man. It's kind of like, yeah, I don't know.
Kermit
I'm
the
gonna go for
Frog.
the Chiefs, but I don't know. I'm not a Taylor Swift, the Swiftie thing. It's you know what?
Travis Kelce,
Man, I'm telling you, for me, it's like I don't know if I can win in this thing or lose. I don't know. I'm probably just I don't care. I guess the best answer
there
is
for the halftime entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, your own version of the Super Bowl is Saturday night.
Oh,
the
yes.
throwdown. What can we expect? Your last game before you get into the playoffs. You're currently sitting nicely there with the 16 wins in fourth. What are we expecting?
Yeah, I think you should expect a really good basketball game against 2 really good teams competing. Seeding is probably going to be on the line, but regardless, it's a rivalry, right? And they always say when there's a rivalry game going on, you throw out the records. It doesn't matter. And I expect that. Just a hard fought, fun game for fans to come and watch.
And we'll be watching you on the sideline going batshit crazy.
The coach of the South East Melbourne Phoenix, Josh King, on the Rush Hour. Triple M.